And the next group of paintings I'd like to talk about are inspired by the artist Claude Monet, in particular his paintings of water lilies. Now obviously as an art teacher I was aware of Monet, the artist, and the impressions and the work he did in his life story, but I never looked to him as inspiration for the work I was doing. I didn't see a connection really between it at all. I was painting East Coast landscapes mostly, and his paintings of Paris and Giverny, while I enjoyed them, and were not something I looked to for inspiration. But as I say, that all changed one day when I found this book, and I think it was actually a bookshop in Stonehaven. It's a combination of photographs and his paintings, and there was this photograph on the front. I did so. I said, actually, I could do that or something like that. It wasn't what I thought about as Monet's work, and so I did. I think one of the first ones I did was just a fairly straightforward copy of that with watercolour and the focal point of the beautiful lily, and it opened up a whole new world to me. And I started painting. I looked at his other work, and suddenly, if I go inside, you'll see this idea. He lived in Giverny for nearly 40 years. A lot of the time he had bad eyesight and problems, and he painted his garden, the Japanese garden, but towards the end he only painted the water and the lilies. There was nothing else in his picture except the water and the lilies, and that's what kind of appealed to me. So I think in one of my first exhibitions in the Heinzel, I did a variation on this. This was my approach on it, and I enjoyed doing it, and they were really popular. Folks seemed to respond to them really well, and I continued to paint them regularly because they're actually different. It's a totally different approach from a normal work, so it was almost like having a break. I would do a water lily painting just to, again, to loosen up, as I keep saying, where you could, the paint was much more liquid, much more fluid. It seems logical. It's water you're trying to paint, and so you could make it drippy. You could the colours. I was probably known best for reds and orange colours, but you could experiment with blues and greens and purples and concentrate on them. There are 2 or 3 water lily paintings in the solo show at the Heinzel, which I'm particularly proud of. And one of them is this long format painting. See, these were long format, and they're a great way to use up the offcuts you get as well. And that you can, if this is in your studio, instead of just throwing it in the fire, the wood that is, not the painting, you can play about with it. At the end of each day, you've always got some spare time with it. You've got paint on your palette, and you're not, you don't have to want to think too much about it. So you can layer this and do that until eventually you say, right, I'm going to make this a painting, and then you go ahead and so you're transforming that to that. I think once you could see the jump, it's not this bit is the fun. This bit, there's a bit more application and skill goes into it. Underneath that's quite interesting. It was a long concertina sketchbook I used, and you're not sure what to do with them when you've finished them. And I thought that might make a nice long painting. And the immediate thing was to try and do a Giverny type painting. Most Europeans will read it that way, and it's one of these paintings I do where you're trying to make every square inch interesting. There shouldn't be, you'd be able to take a little mount and put it over any bit, and you'd have a nice little painting. There's no filler bits. They're all meant to be explode something. I mean, you have bits like that. That's the symbol for Harris Gin Distillery. So it's no logical point, and putting there, but I can't get that precision and that black, that white really any other way with it. Spending weeks trying to paint it. So it brings, when you look long there, it's like a pause. You've got to pause there and move on. So there's a painter will see some of the artifice, if you like, in creating something like that, make it look. But hopefully there's a lot of art in it as well, which is where the splashy bits, little accidents happen, and that red, the light blue and the dark blue, you couldn't plan that, I don't think. It has to happen, then you recognise it happens, and you decide to leave that, but maybe paint over that. And these are the decisions that you have to make every all day, every day when you're trying to make a painting. So I thought that was a successful painting, but the ones I'm going to show you now I'm particularly proud of, and I'll talk about them separately.